So Act 4, Scene 2, Richard III, Shakespeare. Trumpets play, Richard enters, already crowned and dressed as a king. Buckingham, Catesby, a page, and others enter with him. Richard, everyone stand aside. Cousin Buckingham. Everyone moves aside. Buckingham, my gracious king. Richard, give me your hand. Richard ascends the throne with Buckingham at his side. Because of your advice and your help, I have a high position now. But will I wear these honors for only a day, or will I enjoy them for a long time? Buckingham, let them last forever. Richard, oh Buckingham, now I'm going to test to see if you're truly made of gold. Young Prince Edward is still alive. What do you think I'm going to say next? Buckingham, go on, my loving lord. Richard, why, Buckingham? I say I want to be king. Buckingham, why? You are king, your highness. Richard, ha! Am I king? I guess I am, but Edward is still alive. Buckingham, true noble prince. So they're going to kill the young Edward, the prince. Richard, oh how bitter it is that Edward, the real true noble prince, should still be alive. Cousin, you didn't used to be so thick-headed. Shall I put it plainly? I want the bastards dead, and I want it done right away. What do you say? Speak now and to the point. Buckingham, your grace can do whatever he wants. Richard, tut tut, you become rather icy. Your friendliness toward me seems to be freezing over. Tell me, do I have your consent to kill them? Buckingham, give me a little breathing space, my lord, a little pause to think. I'll let you know my answer shortly. He exits. Catesby. So Catesby is Richard's servant. Catesby. So only the attendant nearest him can hear. The king is angry. See, he bites his lip. Richard, to himself, I only want to deal with stupid fools and careless boys. I have no use for people who look at me insightfully. Ambitious Buckingham grows much too circumspect. Boy. Page. My lord. Richard, do you know anyone who would kill someone for money? Page. My lord, I know one unhappy gentleman who has more pride than money. Money talks and would very likely get him to do anything. Richard, what's his name? Page, his name is Tyrrell, my lord. Richard, I know the man a bit. Go, bring him here. Boy. The page exits. To himself, Richard continues to himself. The thoughtful, witty Buckingham will no longer be privy to my innermost thoughts. Has he held out from me so long, and without a moment's doubt, only to suddenly need some breathing room? Well, so be it. Stanley enters. Richard continues. Look who's here. What's the news with you? Stanley. You should know, my loving lord, I've heard that the Marquis Dorset has fled to Brittany, to the Earl of Richmond. He stands aside. Stanley stands aside. Richard. Come here, Catesby. Spread the rumor abroad that Anne, my wife, is very sick. I will make sure she's kept out of view, and find a poverty-stricken gentleman who I can marry straight away to Clarence's daughter. Clarence's son is dull-witted, so I'm not worried about him. Look at you, standing there in a stupor. I repeat, spread the rumor that Anne, my wife, is sick and likely to die. Hurry up, because it's absolutely crucial that I destroy anything that may damage my position. Richard continues to himself, or Catesby exits because he goes and listens to Richard to go spread the rumor about Anne being sick, and he's also going to find someone to marry Clarence's daughter, that's his niece, Richard's niece. So anyway, Richard continues to himself. I must get married to my brother's daughter, otherwise my kingdom stands on glass. Murdering her brothers and then marrying her isn't the most foolproof way to secure my position. But I'm steeped so deep in blood by now that one sin has to follow the next. I have no tears of pity for anyone. So side note, Elizabeth of York, daughter of Queen of Elizabeth and King Edward. She later married Henry Tudor, Earl of Richmond. She was the grandmother of Elizabeth I and considered by Elizabethans to mark the start of the Tudor reign. So anyway, the page returns with Tyrrell, the man who's going to be hired to murder. So Richard continues, Are you Tyrrell? Tyrrell, James Tyrrell, and your most obedient subject. Richard, are you indeed? Tyrrell, test me, my blessed king. Richard, do you dare kill a friend of mine? Tyrrell, yes, my lord, but I'd rather kill two enemies. Richard, well, that's what you get to do. Two great enemies, in fact, enemies to my peace of mind. Tyrrell, I mean those bastards in the tower. Tyrrell, give me access to them and soon you won't have to worry about them anymore. Richard, that's music to my ears. Come here, Tyrrell. Tyrrell approaches Richard and kneels. Richard continues, By this token, you'll be admitted to their cell. Get up and listen to me. Richard whispers to Tyrell, "That's all there is to it. As soon as the deed is done, you won't be in my favor, and I will promote you. You will be in my favor, and I will promote you." Tyrell, "I'll do it right away." Tyrell exits. Buckingham returns. Buckingham, "My lord, I have thought over the request you just made of me." Richard, "Well, it doesn't matter any more. Dorset has fled to the Earl of Richmond." Buckingham, "I heard the news, my lord." Richard, "Stanley, Richmond is your wife's son. Get information from her." Stanley, Richmond is your wife's son. Get information from her. Buckingham, "My lord, I'd want to have the gift you promised me on your honor, the earldom of Hereford and all the possessions that go with it." Richard, "Stanley, pay attention to your wife's doings. If she sends any letters to Richmond, you will be accountable to me for it." Buckingham, "What do you say, your highness, about my just request?" Richard, "As I remember, Henry VI prophesied that Richmond would be king when Richmond was only a foolish little boy. A king, perhaps." Buckingham, "My lord." Richard, "How was it that the prophet didn't tell me at the time that I would kill him?" Buckingham, "My lord, your promise of the earldom." Richard, "Richmond. The last time I was in Exeter, the mayor kindly showed me the castle there and called it Rougemont. The name startled me because an Irish poet once told me that I would die soon after seeing Richmond." The words Rougemont and Richmond were pronounced similarly and both mean Red Hill. So Buckingham, "My lord." Richard, "Yes, what time is it?" Buckingham, "I'm reminding your grace what you promised me." Richard, "Well, but what time is it?" Buckingham, "It's almost 10 o'clock." Richard, "Well, let it strike 10 then." Buckingham, Why let it strike?" Richard, "Because you're like the low-born fellow who strikes the bell. You keep interrupting my thoughts. I am not in the giving mood today." Buckingham, "Well then, let me know whether you will give me the earldom some other time." Richard, "You're bothering me. I'm not in the mood." Everyone except Buckingham exits. Buckingham, "Is this really happening? Does he reward my dedicated service with such deep contempt? Did I work to make him king for this? Oh, let me remember what happened to Hastings and hurry to Brecknock while I still have my head on my shoulders." He exits. So Brecknock was Buckingham's family estate in southeast Wales. Yeah, so Buckingham didn't do one thing that well, he wanted him to be down to kill those he wanted him to be down to kill the Prince Edward and his brother who were locked up in the tower, but he was kind of hesitant. So then Richard is hesitant now of Buckingham. So Buckingham exits after talking to himself. So Buckingham, he wants to go away too. That's the end of Act 4, Scene 2, Shakespeare.